everybody, it's Mike for Faraday Research. It's Sunday afternoon, and I'm just doing some work and planning on my new projects for this coming up year, and we're into the middle, actually almost the end of May now, and I got a couple of really cool projects that I'm going to be working on. Before we get into that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, bottom right hand corner. Also at the end of the video, give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Just going on to my homepage on my YouTube channel. As you can see, I have made over 311 videos. Amazing. Over 300 videos of helpful information, all my projects. There's just a lot of stuff here that you can get a lot out of, whether the stuff I'm doing is correct or it's not right or whatever, or some of the discoveries I've made are going to help your projects. That's a definite bonus. So everything I do is open source. I'm not hiding really anything, especially with the Adams motor generator. Everything, how that motor works, is all there. Also, if you haven't become a Patreon, and I also have my PayPal donate below in the description. You can become a member. You can get all the schematics for all the stuff I do. It's right there in my Patreon. So the Patreon's been growing. It's doing really well. And yeah, it's helping me fund projects. So before we get into what I'm up to, let's just go quickly to the community section of my YouTube channel. And I post stuff here quite often, so anything that I find of value is going to be posted in my community section of Faraday Research's YouTube channel. So just click on community and just start scrolling down. You're going to see really good articles here on stuff that I find that are really significant. I highly recommend watching this video with Nassim Harriman. He'll give you kind of a good idea of, you know, how the universe is, how it started, where that energy, what we call 0 point, or the vacuum energy, he really has a pretty damn good handle on the physics, the mathematics to back it up, and really a good link here to watch the video. I highly recommend it. The other one is this one here, the Energy and Science Conference 2019. This is one of the last conferences that Dr. James DeMeo did before he passed away. And this guy studied Wilhelm Reich for pretty much 40, 50 years plus of studying all his works, all his projects that he worked on. The Cloudbuster, the Orgone Accumulator. An excellent, excellent video. Please watch this one. It's under the community section of Faraday Research's YouTube channel. So speaking of Wilhelm Reich, lately I've been really kind of getting into his stuff because I'm finding what we called ether and orgone. It's the same thing. He gave it a new name because the Einsteiners back in those days were basically dismissing the ether theory and going with general relativity, and everybody got away from it. Wilhelm Reich, as you know, was incarcerated by the FDA for his devices, and ultimately about 2 weeks before he was supposed to get released, he mysteriously dies in jail. So, you know, obviously he was on to stuff that the FDA feared, and feared big time because of its healing properties, energy generation, and basically to rekindle the ether theory, which he renamed orgone, life force energy. So, speaking of which, I decided to start the new project, and here it is. This is the start of my new orgone accumulator. So basically what an orgone accumulator does is exactly what it does. It absorbs orgone energy. So how you do it is basically the same aspect of creating a capacitor. So as Eric Dollard called it, he called it the electrostatic longitudinal condenser. And that's exactly what this is. So this is the first stage. So you have to use galvanized steel, 16 gauge to 20 gauge steel, make it into a box. As you can see, I got a hole. That's 3/4 inch hole at the top. I'll explain what that is after. So basically this is it. I put it together. I did a mock-up just with duct tape just to hold it together. I think I'll probably just keep it like this because it doesn't affect the generator in any way, shape, or form. So what you have to do is you have to start layering it. So the next layer has got to be an organic material. Cotton, sheep's wool, anything that is organic, and I think even silk might be even another one. I'll have to look up silk. That could be also another good one. So it would be like cotton would be next, or sheep's wool, and then after that you'll put steel wool and wrap that around. And then the next layer would be cotton again and sheep's wool. And you do 5, 10, some people actually do 20 layers of just alternating from organic material to steel wool, organic to steel wool, organic to steel wool. So the thing is actually going to be quite a bit larger after it's done because it's going to have several layers all over it. And you got to have a removable top. And the hole, you're either going to put what they used to call in electrical house building, they used to have this thing called flex tube. It's a bendable steel tubing. And I got a source where I can get some of this stuff, and this will allow the orgone to flow out, because orgone flows almost like a gas. It's fluidic. It's like it's a gas. It's the best way I could describe it. And that's the orgone energy. So when you flex this out, and if I were to face it at these plants would take off in growth. They'll actually turn away from the sun and point towards the accumulator. And I have confirmation from Eric Dollard that that's exactly what happened when he built his accumulator, put it in the garden, faced the cone with the flex tube on it towards the plant life, and all the plants start focusing their petals or their leaves or whatever, and they start facing towards the orgone generator away from the sun. So you could do many things with this. I can put water in here, and my structured water. I can put it in the accumulator and now charge the water with orgone energy. Now, water also is a huge gravitator of orgone energy. It's a natural orgone accumulator. So when I put water in here, this thing will absorb orgone like crazy. So basically what we have here is a capacitor, and there's going to be no steel plate on the outside. Usually you have steel plate, dielectric, and then a steel plate. The orgone accumulator has a steel plate on the inside, organic material on the outside, but it's missing the outside plate. The orgone energy comes from the atmosphere, absorbs through those layers of sheep's wool or cotton and steel wool, and go through the galvanized steel, and the galvanized steel will absorb it, and it gets trapped inside. It will just emanate and accumulate inside this box. So whatever I decide to charge with orgone energy, I just open up the lid, pop it inside, and let it sit for 8 or 10 hours, whatever you wish. And I can also put structured water in here and charge it with orgone. So I could even put plants in there if I want, and or germinate seeds inside here. It'll help accelerate the germination process of plants. So yeah, this is definitely a go. It's 8-inch by 8-inch by 8-inch cube. And yeah, this is the project I'm working on next, the orgone accumulator. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic when it's done. So I'll be doing more updates with this in the build. So this is the first stage. So you got to build a metal box. Got to be galvanized steel, 16 gauge to 20 gauge, but thinner the better. Even if you have to make a frame, is actually better. So this one here is pretty thick. So I'll have to see if this is going to work or not. It might be too thick. I might have to go to something a lot thinner. But anyways, I'm going to try it irregardless and see if it actually works. Now, I also have the cobalt glass. And when I'm generating orgone energy, if I look inside, I should be able to see it with this glass. So it's called cobalt glass. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Also, I'm working on the carbon graphite magnesium batteries. I've just ordered more material. I'm going to be building that power cell that I've said I'm going to do, and that's going to run my Renegade. So that's going to be the power source, and to activate it, it's going to be water. So if anybody wants to know what the generator runs on, it'll be water. Water and magnesium. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool when it's all done. So yeah, again, if you haven't become a member, below I got the description there. Got my Patreon link there. Also PayPal donate if you like what I'm doing. I'm actually thinking and debating if I should actually start a GoFundMe page or what do you call it, Kickstarter. I'm thinking about it. Maybe I might go that route too, for the magnesium battery cell. I think that would actually work, and actually I might be able to get some revenue from that, so I can go ahead and start taking this to a bigger scale. I think that's what I really honestly want to do, is take those battery cells and go to a bigger scale. So yeah, anyways, everybody have a great day. I might even do another video later on today. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Links below for my Patreon, PayPal donate. I hope you like what I'm doing. Please give me your feedback or questions, comments below. Last comments that I've been getting on in my last videos have been actually really good. So I've done some good correspondence with my listeners, and everybody have a great day.